Before the vampire became a charming aristocrat or a tragic immortal, it was something far older, far scarier. A creature stitched together from humanity's oldest fear, that the dead do not always stay dead. Mesopotamians whispered about Lamashtu, the bloodthirsty night stalker. Hebrew tales warned of Lilith, the devourer of breath. Greece spawned Lamia and Empusa, shape-shifting women luring travelers to their doom. In the icy north, the Draugr, a malevolent revenant ghost with physical body. They were born from sleepless nights and the fear of the unknown. In Romania and across the Balkans, a deeper fear took shape. The strigoi, the restless dead who rise from their graves to torment the living. The word traces back to the ancient Latin root strix or striga, meaning a screeching night creature, part witch and part bird of ill omen, and gradually transformed into the blood-drinking revenant of Eastern Europe. These weren't abstract spirits. They were believed to be neighbors, friends, family members who refused to stay buried. The very word vampire comes from the Slavic, upir, a term used for undead spirits or night creatures. One of the earliest known accounts tells of Jure Grando Alilović, a 17th century Istrian man whose supposed undead appearances terrorized his village for 16 years. The living finally opened his coffin, found his body lifelike, and destroyed him with a blow to the heart. To those villagers, this wasn't superstition. It was survival. In the early 1700s, several well-recorded incidents ignited Europe's vampire hysteria. Most famously those of Petar Blagojević, a Serbian peasant who was believed to have become a vampire after his death and to cause death of 9 villagers, and Arnold Paole, a Serbian hajduk, also believed to become a vampire. Initiating an epidemic of supposed vampirism caused widespread panic. Bodies were exhumed, stakes were driven, and entire villages stayed awake at night. To them, vampires weren't fiction. They were neighbors, sometimes family. Villagers dug up coffins and found fresh-looking corpses, blood seeping from the mouth, nails and hair grown longer, gas escaping from the bloated belly, producing a guttural groan. Modern science recognizes it as decomposition, but to terrified villagers, these weren't natural processes. They were signs that a corpse had been feeding. Despite cultural differences, certain characteristics became universal. Undead beings, often created through curses or improper burial, drinking blood or life essence, aversion to sunlight repelled by crucifixes, holy water, or garlic, and difficult to kill. Methods of elimination varied, staking the heart, burning the body, or nailing the coffin shut to ensure the dead stayed dead. In 1819, John William Polidori published The Vampire, introducing the first aristocratic vampire, seductive, intelligent, and terrifying in a new way. This figure paved the way for the most iconic vampire in history. When Bram Stoker released Dracula in 1897, the myth transformed forever. Count Dracula, partly inspired by real ruler Vlad the Impaler, combined folklore with Victorian fears and Gothic romance. The 1922 film Nosferatu gave us a rat-like demon with fingers like graveyard branches and turned Dracula into a cinematic legend. Today's vampires walk through horror and romance alike. Seductive, tragic, powerful, cursed. They fascinate us because they embody everything we fear and desire: immortality, forbidden hunger, beauty that hides danger, freedom from death, morality, and time. We bring them back again and again because the darkness and mystery they represent attracts and captivates us. Yet vampire lore has its counterforce. the ones who fight them. From Balkan villagers with wooden stakes, to medieval priests armed with relics, to modern pop culture slayers, the vampire hunter stands as the eternal guardian of the living, a reminder that darkness always creates its own opposition. Now, vampires that are very real. Some vampires don't lurk in old graves or ruined castles. They sit beside us, they smile, they drain us, not of blood, but of energy, joy, and peace. Psychology calls them emotional or energy vampires. They take, consume, and leave others feeling hollow and weak. And just as our ancestors sharpened stakes and gathered relics, we still keep our own defenses. Boundaries, awareness, the instinct to pull away from what drains us. Because some vampires don't need fangs. They need only access to us. In a way, the oldest legends were right. Vampires evolve, but they never, ever disappear.